Welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host, who else but the Natty Teacher. And today, we got a fun one. Push day. Push B to be exact. Now, I want to make this very, very evidently clear, okay, for my followers of, anybody who's tracking my split or what have you. Again, trying to get back on the consistency train. I talked about it a few videos ago. I know that I have a few uploads before this one that are going to go up as I'm recording this. But regardless, we're getting better. Hasn't been 3 weeks, so that's good. I hope as I'm talking through this. I surely hope not. Regardless, though, when it comes to my split right now, guys, it is still the push-pull legs rest, push-pull legs rest split. That has worked really, really well for me. As far as getting enough recovery, all that kind of stuff. That is just definitely really, really worked well for me. Honestly, it has. So it's one of those things where definitely going to keep rocking with that. I can tell my body right now is hardening up more and more, which I really, really like, because I really haven't made a lot of drastic changes. Not having as many off-plan meals, trying to be a little bit more consistent with getting a little bit more sleep. I know during the week for me, it's tough to get 8 hours of sleep every night, to be honest with you, just based on my diet and how late I have to eat and how late I work and train and all that. It is tough for me to get a solid 8 hours of sleep, but 7 is more realistic, and I've been pretty dang close to that consistently. Still feeling a little tired. I mean, honestly, for me, man, it's been about 2.5 weeks since I first got sick. I don't know if I talked about this in previous uploads or not. I'm not sure. I probably did, but still have a little bit of lingering stuff. Nothing where it's making me feel sick anymore, but just a little bit of sinus congestion. You can probably hear it in my voice. Little bit of mucus and phlegm still in the throat, kind of way just kind of buried down in there a little bit. So it's just little things right now that are still not feeling spectacular. But again, I feel my body, for the most part, I feel pretty good. I feel super flat today because it got a little chillier outside. And on top of that, just today at work, I really was behind my desk a lot, which I normally don't like to do, but I had to input some data and do some grading and stuff like that. So I wanted to make sure that I had that going. So it was nice to have some time to do that. But yeah, so just feel flat. I'm 3 meals in right now instead of 4, because it is a little bit earlier. Even though I totally forgot a meal at work, so I had to turn around and go grab that and then come back out. So I'm about 10 minutes later than I normally would be, which kind of stinks, but what can you do? So I'm still hoping to be done with meal 4 by about 6 o'clock. Then I'd eat again at 8 o'clock for meal 5, have that done by 8:15 at the latest. It gets a quick meal. And then so is meal 6. Meal 6 isn't even quick. I can usually knock down meal 6 in 10 minutes flat. So we'd have that at about 10:15, and then essentially eat and go have my fiber very shortly after and go to bed and try to be up by, about 6 o'clock or so. So that's, again, it's a tight 7-hour window for sure, but my days, man, especially on training days, it's just how it is. On my rest days, I try to nap a little bit more. I went home today at lunch, tried to take a little nap. I don't think I fell asleep. I don't really remember falling asleep. I think I just kind of laid there, but it was still nice having some time to chill, so that was cool. But yeah, man, whatever I got being sick, I don't know if it was a COVID or some kind of bronchitis or a flu or whatever. I didn't throw up or anything. I didn't miss a meal or anything like that. I wasn't that kind of sick. It just took it out of me. I just feel my body still hasn't fully 100% jumped back. I feel I felt yesterday really good, and then even today, just kind of had another day. I felt really good yesterday, but then today it was kind of probably just because I wasn't moving around as much at work, so my body just slowed down, and all that is probably why. I guarantee when I get into my workout, I'll probably feel really good. But yeah, anyways, but for my split, it's both my push and leg days right now. Pull is just the way it's divvied up. It kind of doesn't work for pull, but for push and legs, I've really been enjoying where I have essentially a push and a leg day where my compound movements are right up front. They're in that 8 to 10 rep range. It's just heavy, brutal, just ignorant work, as Seth Feroce would put it. Just ignorant, hard work right up front, all that. Then I have a push and a leg day where I still have that same mindset, but I flip it. And what I mean by that is I up the reps and flip the order of exercises. Meaning, instead of doing 2 push days where all the pressing is up front, which there's nothing wrong with that, mind you. I've done it before. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. This push day for me is my push B, where I will put some of that isolation work up front, meaning I'm going to lead today with some cable Y raises, so some side delts right off the rip, okay, and then into a cable fly. So we're getting the side delts firing, we're getting the chest firing. Then like smack dab in the middle of the workout is where I have my pressing. And the pressing is also within that higher rep range. So the pressing is also in that 12 to 15 rep range, okay? What I'm trying to do with this is really bring out as much detail as I possibly can, slowing everything down like I would, in heavy training too, and really trying to make those muscles pop. That is the goal. Really making those muscles pop, getting a good hard squeeze, all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, optimize the contraction as much as I possibly can. Pressing, I would say, maybe can be within 10 to 15, or maybe even 10 to 12. But then like pressing in my other workout is like, top set of 8, for like my big like low incline Smith press, for example. That's a top set of 8, with a back off set of 10. And then like my machine chest presses is like top set of 10, back off set of 12. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it varies a little bit to where we're upping the reps even a little bit more in this session. Can you lift in lower rep ranges? Absolutely you can. If you want to do a set of 6, go for it. You want to do a set of 4, go for it. I just enjoy that connection and just really getting the most out of those movements like that and squeezing the absolute crap out of the muscle that I'm using and going from there. Again, do you have to do that? Could you do a set of 4 and have great success? Absolutely you could. But I've just kind of come to realize for me, especially at 30 years old, and I've said this before in previous videos too, but I kind of don't always live by it because I let my ego get in the way. I've just realized that for me, after 12 years of training, being 30 years old, it's not just about the numbers anymore. While I do want to progressively overload still, even after 12 years of training, and still get stronger and still get better in the gym, of course, it's one of those things where really that mind-muscle connection and what I'm putting into the muscle is the most important thing for me. And I feel like I haven't always lived by that, and I feel like that gets reflected in like my recovery and in my physique and like, in a lot of things. And oh boy, jeez, man. So I just really want to make sure that I put myself in Michigan drivers, really put myself in a great spot to optimize my training as much as possible, but still have fun with it too. Because I gotta admit, man, my training there for a little while was just getting stale. It really was, because I like the movements that I have. Like I don't want to change the movements and all that. Like I want to keep all of those, because I feel like I found a really good exercise selection. But it's just one of those things where like some of my training was getting stale because I was feeling beat up. I feel like I wasn't connecting with the muscle that much. I was just moving weight to move weight. And it's like, that's not what I want out of my training. Like I want to feel every rep of every set that I do. I want to be so connected to the muscle that by the time but I put it this way, a half hour after my workout, I still want to have a chest pump. You know what I mean? Like that's when I know I had a successful workout, is when I'm leaving the gym after a full push session and I hadn't done a chest movement in 45 minutes and I'm still leaving with a pump. You know what I mean? Not that the pump is everything, because it's not, but it is something, and nobody can convince me otherwise. I truly believe that you still need to obtain that pump to get the best results out of your workouts, for sure. Like if you're going in, obviously like in a prep when your food's low and all that, yeah, those pumps are still going to be minimal. But you can still get them though, 100%. You know what I mean? That's where nutrition is so important around training. But it's just one of those things where, again, like I just want to, most importantly, have fun, but also really make sure that I'm doing what I can with these last few months, because I don't have a ton. I got a few months of this off season left. I want to make sure that I'm doing the most that I possibly can these last few months to get the most out of my training when food is still a little bit higher and go from there. And it does suck. It sucks being sick, man. Because I can just still, like I said, I just feel like that general level of like being a little tired in my body, you know what I mean? My muscles and like my joints don't feel too bad, but my muscles just still, I can just feel it, you know what I mean? They're just a little worn down. And again, because I was like really sick. And I kind of just kept, I plugged in a few extra rest days, but I kept on like training really hard and all that. And it really, I was not doing good, for especially for like a solid week or so there. But I mean, it's been a couple weeks since I first started feeling kind of crappy, and still have, like I said, still have a little bit of lingering stuff. But regardless, I'm excited to get to the gym. I can tell I feel so flat right now. Like I need to get some movement in. I changed up my pre-workout meal because I am doing meal 3. And then going to the gym a couple hours later. So I did make it a little bit more satiating, meaning that instead of having my avocado chicken meal later, which I normally would do, I actually put that pre-workout. So again, just to fill up the stomach a little bit more. And obviously I have a couple hours till I work out after that meal. Like, I mean, I had that meal, it's like 3:50, just after 3:50 p.m. right now, and I'm still not even at the gym. and I finished that meal at like 1 p.m. So it's almost been 3 hours, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where that meal at least will fill me up a little bit more. I threw a pickle on there too. I love pickles. I'm a big pickle guy. So I threw a pickle on there too, just for flavor. So I had about 2 grams of sodium with that meal. So again, I'm hoping once I like get up, get moving, I'm going to continue to hydrate. I already had my little pre-workout caffeine, actually a couple, like an hour and a half ago, maybe even more than that. Yeah, more than that, almost 2 hours ago. It was like 2 hours ago that I had that. So I'm not going to have any more. I'm trying to lower my caffeine intake. But you know, just one of those things where, again, I'm really trying to like do all the right things. Put it that way. I'm really trying to do all the right things as a natural bodybuilder. I cut down a lot of the BS supplements that I was taking, cut down some of the dosages of some of the supplements that I was taking, and like I'm really trying to do the most that I possibly can to get the most out of like my physique and my diet and nutrition and supplementation and all that. But not just like put a bunch of random crap into my body that isn't going to do anything for me, you know. And I felt like for a little while I was doing that, and so I'm excited. It's kind of almost like a fresh start, you know what I mean? And especially after a year and a half almost of being in an off season, like, you know, sometimes having something to like renew things and refresh things, it feels good, you know what I mean? It feels good to be able to have that, you know. So, anyways. Like I said, I'm excited. Definitely can feel the physique tightening up just by cutting out some of the extra BS that I was having, you know, on the side there. And also dropped quite a bit of water after, like, you know, feeling better. I could see that on my physique last night, that it had, like, you know, tightened up. And, you know, that was nice to drop some of that water for sure after, you know, the brunt of being sick. So now it's just kind of getting the rest of that, you know, the rest of this sickness out of me, and, you know, getting as much rest and good hard training as we can, and hopefully by this weekend be 100% back and good to go. So anyways, big yap. I apologize if you're not big into the intro yapping, but had some things to share. Yeah, so like I said, with this push session, we're front loading that isolation work, which is just nice. It's a nice like mental break a little bit too, because don't get me wrong, I love having that mindset of like just again, brutal, like let me get under some heavy weight, control the crap out of it, and literally push so much blood into my chest it feels like it's going to explode. I want that. At the same time, you know, doing that over and over again for 12 years, sometimes it's nice to be like, all right, let's pump some blood into some other areas. We're going to still pump the chest up as much as we can with these flies, and then let's get into a press that ain't going to bother the crap out of our elbows because we're doing a set of 5 or something like that, and just trying to hyper load this bad boy, you know, and go from there. So again, it's, you know, it's been nice, and I'm excited for this training, being able to train a little bit in the higher rep range a little bit. Again, I feel like I don't do that enough. I feel like for this off season has been a lot of low rep training, and has definitely added some density to my physique, which is sweet. Now it's that point where it's like, okay, I want to keep that density that we put on, that hard, well-earned muscle, and now round it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Add some more detail, make it pop a little bit more, fill it up a little bit more. You know, all that kind of stuff. So that's the mental goal, at least. So that's what I'm hoping we'll get out of this. So, anyways, again, said I was gonna stop yapping a minute ago. My bad. I'm gonna stop yapping now. So I'm gonna get in there, get warmed up, do some band work, mobility work, all that kind of, just get everything nice and loosened up and ready to rock and roll. And I will catch y'all for the top set of my first exercise, which is those incline cable Y raises. That'll be coming at you right about now. All right, so as promised, to get us started, we got an incline cable Y raise. Now we have 3 working sets here, again, keeping all sets between 10 and 15 reps. This is an absolutely humbling variation of this Y raise. Anything in an incline is going to be a little bit more difficult when you got to go from low to high rather than just completely flat where it's kind of all just horizontal, you know what I mean? This is kind of more of that, you have to kind of go up vertically. But I'm glad I did this though, because the connection I was able to form between this movement and my side delts was phenomenal. Now you see my little mini-me in here. You'll probably see her for a couple clips. She really insisted on staying down in the gym with me and working out, and you know what? It was a blessing for sure. But again, 3 working sets here, all between 10 and 15 reps, and really making sure we are trying to just milk the most out of this movement in the side delts. So be careful using too much weight. At the same time, obviously you want to progressively overload this, get bigger and stronger at it and what have you. But make sure that you're, you know, leave the ego at the door. Really connect with the side delts, because it's really easy to get into reps where you're just forcing it just to force it, and, you know, not actually connecting with the muscle group. And that is not what we want here. You can see I'm, you know, like on this last one here, I'm like barely scratching through. And so then, you know, that's where we will end it. So after that, 2 working sets of cable flies. We're really getting that deep stretch and bringing the hands together on this one. On the pec deck, I actually don't like to bring the hands together, but with this particular cable, I find that I can find it a little bit more comfortable. So this one, I do bring my hands all the way together and clasp in the front like that. So I was able to actually add, I did change the angle a little bit. I brought up the cables, I brought them up 1 from where they were at the previous weekend. It was actually not intentional. I thought that that's where it was at last week, but I checked back in my logbook and it was actually the cables were set down 1 from where they were at today. But I was actually able to add 2 reps to the weight that I used last week, again, with the cables a little bit higher. I don't know if that really necessarily made it easier though. But again, this is one where we're really trying to get that stretch. We're really trying to open that chest up. I know that like anatomically, that's not what I'm doing, but that's how I like to picture it. Is just really allowing those fibers to open up and go from there. So again, really get that nice chest pump going. Top set, back off set with this bad boy as well. Not 3 though, just 2. One top set, 1 back off set, and going from there. So again, yeah, really getting to the big stretch. This one I believe was a set of 12, and then we did a back off set of like 13. With a little bit less weight, something like that. So again, everything was meant to be within that 12 to 15 rep range, and that's exactly what we did. So I was very happy with that. So yeah, again, getting this last one in here. That's what those final reps should look like, man. We don't want to like herk and jerk around. We still want them to be nice and slow and controlled. So great set there. Then we have our flat machine press, but if you watch my elbows and watch where the handles go in like previous videos, man, those handles are going way deeper. Well, how did I do that? Very simple. I actually took the back pad that I have on the leg press at this gym and put it on the actual chest press seat, because I noticed it's like, yeah, I can get stronger at this movement, have my hands wide and get a little bit of a press, but I just didn't feel the chest that much. With this bad boy, putting that leg press pad in behind my back and moving my body forward, I was able to actually get a legitimate chest press out of this, where I'm getting that stretch. You can see the handles almost align right with my lower pec, and it felt great. It was challenging, mind you, much more humbling than what I was doing before, but it felt really good. So we're gonna stick with this weight till we get this up to 12. I think we got 8 here. I think we'll be able to get 9 or 10 next week. I'm pretty confident. But yeah, we'll be able to stick with that. And then I got my little mini-me here, and she wanted to come say a quick little hello. So it's always a blessing, man. Being able to work out with her, it kind of stressed me out at first, I'm gonna be honest, as far as like trying to adhere to like what she needed, but also focus on my workout. But as the workout went on, it was really nice having her down there. So anyways, then again, wanting to up the reps here as well. Just got a regular incline dumbbell press. Now you gotta remember, this is the 4th exercise in my workout. So obviously my weight is going to have to like change when I'm going for like 10 to 15 reps. And so we're using just the 90s. Like obviously it's not anything world record breaking, but I was really happy with this, all the same, because you could just see the power and like the movement of this weight compared to my previous week where I was using, like the 110s as my top set and literally did half as many reps. This was a great set here. So we were able to rock out 10 really smooth ones. You can see the dumbbells come all the way down to the outside of the upper portion of the pec, sitting in that stretch for a moment, and then bring that weight up. So I was really happy with this. So that was our top set, and then we did a back off set with the 80s, I think for 11. So we got 10 here and then 11 with 10 pounds lighter. Obviously, again, could do much more weight if this was up front in the workout, but with where it was at, I was really happy with that. Then got an easy bar skull crusher. We're really bringing the bar down. I kind of like to like roll the bar down a little bit. You can kind of see that like my elbows kind of naturally drift forward, within this movement. So I kind of roll the bar down to like the nose or even like the chin and really get as much of a stretch. Get as much of a stretch on my tricep as I possibly can. I got my baby coming up. Come on, can you come up here? I'm laying on my bed when I record this. She was out in the other room, so she just came in. Come on up. So we did 2 working sets here. Again, this one absolutely within that 12 to 15 rep range. I believe we did a top set of 12 here, so we will add 5 pounds to this weight because it was a comfortable set of 12. Like I could have grinded out a 13th or maybe even a 14th rep. So it's like, okay, so now we know we can, add 5 pounds to this bad boy. And then my back off set, I dropped the weight 20 pounds and literally did 20 reps. I don't know, like something just got into me in that set. I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. And it was sick. I had a sick tricep pump. So yeah, I was super happy with this movement for sure. And, I do have a little bit of a low incline too. I feel like that helps a little. Then just some good old rope extensions, man. Nothing crazy. Again, just kind of getting that last little bit of blood popped in the triceps. You can see that I like to roll my elbows forward. If you watch a guy like Big Mike Van Wyck, I'm a big fan of him. When you see him like do push downs and things like that, he kind of talks about using like Yeah, come on. Kind of like talks about actually allowing your body to naturally work with the movement instead of being so rigid. And I found that this movement in particular, that has been very helpful. Like there are certain push down variations, like with a straight bar, where I would like lock my elbows into the side of the body more. This one, I allow my elbows to actually drift forward a little bit. So I really enjoy that variation. So anyways, did a top set of 15 here, dropped the weight a little bit, and then I believe we did another set of either 15 or maybe 16 or 17. So, yeah. Anyways, catching the outro. Push B session in the books. I'm refilming my outro because it was like 13 minutes of just me yapping, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. That was a phenomenal workout. Absolutely loved it. Very challenging training within those higher rep ranges. I'm going to tell you that right now, man. I have been doing that now just this past week in particular for like in my different push and pull and leg sessions, because I do every other. Where it's like, one leg session, again, like I was talking about in the intro, will be pretty much everything's like 8 to 10, maybe 8 to 12. And then another leg session, everything's like 12 to 15. And there is a big difference in that and the burn that comes with that. You know what I mean? I got to admit, man, getting into that like 11th, 12th plus rep, it burns like a son of a gun. It really does. So, but ain't that a good thing? That's a beautiful thing, for sure. So I ain't complaining about it, but man, it's a change, I'll tell you that. But felt good. Really enjoyed front loading some of that isolation work as well. Like that was really enjoyable for me. Makes me that much more motivated and excited to when I can just get into my heavier pressing, on this upcoming push A session that I have. Now that's not obviously not till like next Monday. I got a couple more. I got to pull in a leg session in between that and 2 rest days, that follow those 2 workouts. So yeah, so I got a hot minute till another push session, but I'm already excited for it. It'll be awesome. Anyways, yeah, phenomenal session. Guys, I really do pride myself in taking, I really do pride myself in being on top of my technique. With a lot of movements, I really don't know if there's, because it's hard to compare, but I don't really know if there's a lot of people out there that are going to be as tight as I am on technique. And especially now, again, being 30, training for 12 years. I know I say it all the time, but just as reminders, especially for new viewers, I've been doing this for a hot minute, and it's one of those things where technique, especially as you get older, in my opinion, becomes everything. And starting it younger, I think, is even better, because then you lock it in and you can build that strength properly. You know what I mean? It's a slow burn, especially after those newbie gains. But man, I'll tell you what, I wish that I had done better form with a lot of movements growing up. Put it that way, when I was in my first couple years of training, put it that way. I really wish I had done better form, because I know that my body, not to say that I'm unhappy with how my body looks, but I know my body could be even better and stronger and look better and cleaner and all that kind of, like, I just know that for a fact. So take these lessons from me early. Take them earlier. You know what I mean? Don't wait until I did to clean up your technique, because your joints were hurting, or just because, things were just a little too sloppy, So, anyways, yeah, man. So I'm going to cut it there. Hey, again, awesome workout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video and you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get my content on a pretty frequent basis. A couple videos a week right now, long form. A couple videos short form as well. Usually they're little previews to my long form content, by the way, if you follow my TikTok or Instagram, both just at the Natty Teacher. But if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. I know I just said that, but I kind of forgot there for a half second and just remembered that I already did. So I appreciate it, guys. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the continued growth of the channel. If you got any comments, questions, feedback, anything like that for me, make sure you drop those down in the comments section below. When I see them, I absolutely will respond to them. What is this person doing? I don't know why these people are just slamming on their brakes here. What is going on? Goodness gracious. Michigan drivers. If you like the video, make sure you drop it a like. If you really like the video, maybe even give it a share. That'd be awesome. That'd be sweet. Let your friends know about the Natty Teacher. That'd be totally killer. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, guys, without further ado, I don't know if I already said this or not. Let me make sure. If you got any comments, questions, feedback, anything like that, make sure you drop those down in the comments section below. When I see them, I will respond to them. And now I'm remembering, yes, I already said, I'm sorry, my brain's all over the place. Coming off that long outro and now trying to speed this one up. Again, I apologize. I'm a little tired, but feeling good, though, especially after that workout. That was a really good workout. So, really good session. anyways, hey guys, again, I appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. And for today, though, from myself, the Natty Teacher, the entire Natty family, this episode of Road to Natty Pro, one of, I'd say quite a few more to go, is out. I will catch y'all on the next one, which will be a pull session. Gotta love it. Peace.